If you're watching this video, you're in the top 1% of AI users. I know, it doesn't feel that way. You're on X watching some guy run 20 terminals at once with a knowledge base that rewrites itself and you feel like you're behind. You're not behind, there's a gap in front of you, sure. But it's nothing compared to the gap behind you. And that gap is quietly the most expensive thing in AI right now because almost nobody's measuring it. So I want to show you 3 things. What actually happens when a company rolls AI out to everyone? Why the 10% who are good at it can hurt your budget more than the 90% who aren't. And then what actually works instead. Let's start with that gap. And specifically with the person standing on the other side of it. The median employee at a big company has opened an AI tool maybe 4 times this week, and all 4 were basically the same thing. Reword this email, summarize that document. Their sense of what these tools can actually do got set about 2 years ago, back when the models were bad, and it hasn't moved since, while the frontier moved about 100 miles. And every AI strategy article, every consultant tech, every board demo, they all quietly assume that person eventually catches up. They don't. That's the whole video really. They don't catch up, and pretending otherwise is what's burning money. Because when a company hands AI to everyone at once, what they've actually bought is 5,000 gym memberships. And you know how gym memberships go. About 10% of the people who sign up are in there 4 mornings a week with a real program. Another 20% drift in now and then, do a bit of whatever and leave. And everyone else has a card in their wallet they stopped using in week 2. And that's almost exactly the split Varick found. They're a team that rolls AI out inside big companies, and they put their numbers up on X. Same shape every time, apparently whether it's 50 people or 5,000. Your 10% have proper setups connected to their email, their CRM, their files. Usually they're the ones who pushed for the tool in the first place. Your 20% open it to revert an email, and that's about where it ends. Everyone else? Nothing. Now, here's a part I love. The dashboard only counts signups, so it will always say that it's a great rollout. Everybody's adopted. Meanwhile, the ops leader they talk to is sitting there watching his team move at exactly the same pace as last year. Both those things are true. The dashboard isn't lying to him, it's just counting memberships instead of results. Because using a tool and using it well are honestly 2 different skills. So, picture 2 engineers on the same team. They get handed the same ticket on the same day with the same tool sitting in front of them. The first engineer pastes the ticket in, hits go. Model touches 6 files. Tests pass. Merges it. 3 weeks later, production starts acting weird, and somebody finally works out that this change quietly flipped a config value for no reason. The second engineer pastes in the same ticket, but then tells the model where in the codebase to look, which files to leave alone, and points it at a saved instruction file that says keep it minimal and write the tests. Then they actually read the diff, catch one stray change, fix it, and merge something half the size. That's the same tool in the same seat. The outcome's just completely different. And the craft here is the boring stuff. Knowing when to clear the context window, knowing that everything you've explained twice should become a saved file the model reads every time, instead of a prompt you keep retyping, and knowing which 15% of a process actually needs a model to make a judgment call, versus the 85% that's just regular code and should never go near a model. The last one is where most of the money is, and it's also where most of it gets lost. There's one more number in the Varick article that stuck with me. A company had committed 8 figures to licenses for the year, and about 10% of their people were burning 90% of the tokens. Now, think about what that means. If the other 90% suddenly got good, if they all used it the same way your top 10% does, your spend goes up roughly tenfold. 10 million becomes 100 million, which means the best case version of your rollout is also the worst thing that could happen to your budget. Nobody models that. It's the failure hiding behind the failure. And none of that shows up in the one number everyone's actually watching, which is why I don't trust adoption as a metric at all. McKinsey's 2025 survey showed 88% of organizations use AI in at least one business function. but only 6% get more than 5% of their EBIT from it. MIT found roughly the same thing. A small handful of pilots make real money, and almost everything else shows nothing on the P&L. The reason those numbers are so far apart is simple. Adoption is a yes or no question. Did they log in? Did they send 5 prompts? But skill is a spectrum, and your tracker genuinely can't differentiate between someone who's never opened the thing, someone who's pasting emails in to get them reworded, and someone who's running 3 agents in production against the general ledger. All 3 of those people tick the same box on your dashboard, but a company full of the first one and a company full of the last one, those aren't the same business at all. So what do you actually do about that? First, train anyway, but not to fix everyone. Train so you can find out who your top slice actually is, because you can't know until you do. It's a diagnostic, not a cure. Then give those people somewhere to publish what they build. A shared library where their setups get ranked and other people install them. The ranking is the point. Status is the one thing a power user will trade their edge for. Second, for everybody else, stop asking them to change how they work. Just put AI in the background. Find the most repetitive processes. Build the agents into the systems people already sit in all day, the CRM, the ERP, and only pull a human in for a second look. Think about a team of AP analysts pushing invoices around. 90% of that is automatable. You are never turning all of them into prompt engineers, but you can run the agent every morning and let them approve, reject, or fix what it did, because nobody actually wants a tool that helps them do the work. They just want the work done. If you only have to take one thing out of this video, stop reporting adoption to your board. Report how much of the work done is manual, how much is hybrid, and how much is fully automated. Nobody can fake that number with a login. And if you go to build that breakdown and realize you don't actually know which of your processes could be running in the background, that's the part we do at NovaFlow. We come in, work out where the work actually happens in your business, and hand you a roadmap. What to automate now, what to make hybrid, and what should never go near a model. Then we build those agents into the systems your team already uses, so nobody has to learn a new craft to get the benefit. If you want to talk through what that would look like for your company, there's a link in the description to book a session with us. And if you enjoyed watching this video, hit like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.